Opening day of Season 2 from Minnesota, where they went all out for the pregame festivities. We've got generic team walkouts with smoke. We've got $84 million quarterbacks. We've got fire-breathing dragons. We've even got a River Hogs pregame altercation as free agent signing Stacey McGee brutally attacks quarterback Patrick Mahomes. But the show must go on, and Portland across midfield gives to Brandon Oliver, who has a huge hole, cuts upfield, and is barely tripped up after picking up 15. 3 plays later, 3rd and 10, and it's Mahomes finding second-round rookie Long Winborn for his first career catch and a gain of 14 for the first down. Then on 2nd and 11, it's Mahomes to Tyreek Hill on the crosser, who takes it 14 yards just inside the pylon for the score as the Portland River Hogs come out on their first drive of the season and take an early 7-0 lead. Ensuing drive, the give goes to Dalvin Cook, who gets stopped in the backfield, but I should have hit Y, which stands for why the f is this mechanic still in the game? Cook sprints across midfield before finally being tracked down after a 47-yard gain. 3 plays later, 3rd and 12, Kirk Cousins looking to throw, maneuvering the pocket before dumping off to Cook, who turns on a dime and tightropes the chalk for another big pickup, this time of 27, to set up 1st and goal. But then on 3rd and goal, Cousins dumps quick to Cook, but no tackle battle to save him this time, and he only gains 1 yard, setting up a Daniel Carlson 25-yard field goal to make the score 7-3. River Hogs back to work, and on 2nd and 9, Mahomes finds Tyreek Hill over the middle for a pickup of 19 and a Portland first down. Then on 3rd and 4, it's Mahomes to tight end Travis Kelce for 9 more to the Viking 32 to move the chains. River Hogs continue to move the sticks as Mahomes play fakes and completes the 2nd and 4 pass to Tyreek Hill, who breaks tackles on his way to another 11-yard gain. And on the next play, it's 11 more as Darrell Williams takes the carry up the middle and pulls Vikings across the marker to set up 1st and goal. Then with the first quarter winding down, 3rd and goal, Mahomes looks to throw but decides to take it in himself, scoring from 5 yards out and declaring, "I'm a little teapot, short and stout," as the River Hogs push their lead to 11. River Hogs back with the ball, and it's Mahomes going back to Kelce as he fires a laser up high that Kelce skies to catch for the 17-yard gain. But on 3rd and 2, Mahomes looking to throw again, tries to hit Brandon Oliver on the crosser, but too much spice on the throw, which brings up 4th down and a 51-yard Harrison Butker field goal attempt, which is up and good, and Portland pushes the lead to 14. Vikings looking to answer back as Cousins avoids pressure and finds Adam Thielen over the middle for 19 yards and a first down. Next play, Cousins looking to throw again, and he wants big money this time as he goes deep for Stephon Diggs, who hauls in the 39-yard catch. But on the following play, Portland brings the corner blitz, and Kendall Fuller eats Cousins alive for the sack and 7-yard loss. Then on 3rd and 13, Cousins looking to throw and looking for the end zone, and Adam Thielen, who has it in his hands, but it's free agent signing Ken Crawley knocking it loose, which brings out Daniel Carlson for another field goal, this time from 33 yards out to cut the lead back to 11. River Hogs looking to add more before half, and to start the drive, Mahomes play fakes, rolls to his right, and delivers a strike to Tyreek Hill for 24 yards into Minnesota territory. Then next play, the give goes to Darrell Williams, who does something between a brisk walk and a light jog to pick up 12 more yards for another first down. River Hogs keep it on the ground, this time using Brandon Oliver to pick up 11 more yards to move the chains. Then on 2nd and 9 from the 21, Mahomes play fakes and dumps it off to Travis Kelce, nearly knocked away by Ben Gideon, but instead it's another pickup of 12 as Portland sets up 1st and goal. Then with 1:19 to go, the inside handoff goes to Brandon Oliver, who blasts his way into the end zone from 7 yards out, and Portland all over Minnesota as they would head into half with a 24-6 lead. The Vikings would bounce back though as 3rd quarter now, 3rd and 9, Mahomes looking to throw but nowhere to go, and it's Danielle Hunter getting in to drop him for the sack and force a Portland punt. Ensuing drive, and the Viking offense goes to work as Cousins play fakes and finds David Morgan for the first down and gain of 19. Next play, it's Cousins back to the big tight end as he finds Morgan again, this time for a gain of 22 down to the River Hog 26. Then next play, the Vikings move 15 yards closer as Cousins looks to throw and finds Adam Thielen late over the middle for the first down, and after a false start makes it 1st and 15. The give goes to Dalvin Cook, who nearly gets all 15, taking it down to the 2 just shy of the marker, where on the next play it goes right back to Cook, who dives his way into the end zone for the Vikings' first touchdown of the 2019 season as Minnesota closes the gap back to 11. River Hogs turning on 2nd and 20, Mahomes play fakes and rolls to his right and floats one deep for Sammy Watkins, who makes the catch, picking up 33 yards. But after another holding penalty, the Viking pressure gets home again as this time it's Everson Griffin taking Mahomes down, and Portland would have to punt where they'd pin the Vikings deep. But then on 3rd and 14, Cook Cook with the give and the ridiculous spin move, and he's into the open field. He's got the first down and much, much more. Ken Crawley is going to catch him, but Deuce Douglas presses A. Finally presses X, but it's too late as Dalvin Cook takes it in from 96 yards out. Minnesota lines up for the 2-point, but Dorian O'Daniel is there to stuff Cook in the backfield, so the score remains 24-19. Fourth quarter now, and Vikings attacking again as Cousins hits Kyle Rudolph down the seam for a 23-yard gain well into Portland territory. But after a false start, disaster strikes for Minnesota as Cousins, feeling the pressure, tries to throw late to the flats, but Dorian O'Daniel is there to pick it off, and he's going to have nothing but green artificial grass in front of him as he brings it back 62 yards for the pick six and puts Portland back up by 12. Minnesota looking to answer back as Cousins gets good protection before finding a diving Stephon Diggs for the 16-yard catch. Then 2 plays later, it's Cousins hitting Rudolph the purple cloth tackle breaker for a gain of 27 down to the Portland 29. Then 5 plays later, Cousins gives to Dalvin Cook as an EMP momentarily hits the stadium, but it won't stop Cook from diving into the end zone for his 3rd score of the game as Minnesota pulls back to within 5. Portland's turn now, but more of the same as the Vikings bring the blitz, and it's Eric Kendrick swarming Patrick Mahomes to drop him for the sack, and the River Hogs would be forced to punt. Vikings with a chance to take the lead now as Cousins gets great protection and finds Adam Thielen again over the middle for a pickup of 17 near midfield. Then 3 plays later, 3rd and 10, and it's Stephon Diggs with another diving catch to move the chains as Minnesota crosses midfield. Vikings continue to roll as on the very next play, Cousins finds Kyle Rudolph over the middle, and he takes it 21 yards down to the Portland 20. But 5 plays later, 3rd and goal from the 12, and Cousins throws well short of the goal line to Adam Thielen. No gain on the play, and Mike Zimmer sends out Daniel Carlson for the 29-yard field goal, and the lead is cut to 2. But the Viking defense would need a stop, and on 2nd and 9, Mahomes finds Travis Kelce over the middle, but he's hit right at the marker, setting up 3rd and inches, where it's Darrell Williams, and he has a huge hole, picking up 6 to take us to the 2-minute warning. Then on 2nd and 6, the give goes to Brandon Oliver, who has a nice lane and bowls through 3 Vikings to pick up the first down, which leaves Minnesota with just under 2 minutes and only 1 timeout. But then the backbreaker, as with no timeouts left, Spencer Ware takes it right up the middle for the 14-yard gain, and the River Hogs in their first official game hold on to beat the Vikings 31-29. Portland's offense jumped out early, but after the 18-point halftime lead, they were outscored 23-7 in the second half. Minnesota racks up over 500 yards of offense as Dalvin Cook gets 200 yards rushing and 3 scores, and then Kirk Cousins throws for 355 yards but does throw the 1 costly interception. Patrick Mahomes starts the year strong, going 20 of 28 for 259 yards passing with 1 score through the air and 1 score on the ground. Minnesota loses their home opener and will try to get right under the primetime lights as they head to Green Bay to play the Packers on Sunday night next week. Meanwhile, the River Hogs head home for their first game in Portland as they face the Oakland Raiders. Alright guys, so a nice win on opening day. We hold on for the 31-29 win. I would have liked to have things finish a bit easier than that after being up 24-6 at half, but then again, it wouldn't be all Madden without things getting close at the end. But overall, not a terrible game. Definitely not what I was hoping to have happen on the defensive side of the ball in terms of all the yards and then giving up something like a 96-yard touchdown run. Did a good job in the first half, but the second half was not good at all really on either side of the ball. But unfortunately, I did suffer one injury in that game, and it was to rookie center Jose Lopez, who went down with a broken thumb. And here it's going to say 5 weeks, but that's actually before I advanced the weeks, so it's actually going to be 4 weeks. He was my 3rd round pick, and it's a pretty significant drop off from him to the backup, as now Jordan Devey, who's a 62 overall, comes in and is going to have to start for the next several weeks. And then a roster move also had to be made because as soon as I advanced to the regular season, Mitchell Wentworth from my practice squad was signed by the Browns. He was the left tackle that I mentioned last video as being a guy that could have made the final roster in certain seasons, but the numbers just weren't in his favor, and he ends up going to Cleveland and immediately becoming their starting left tackle, so a good move made by them. And then the corresponding move was that I signed outside linebacker Raymond Bindum to the practice squad. He was in the free agent pool and just gives me a little bit of insurance if I did suffer an injury at that position, as I only currently have 4 outside linebackers on the roster. But with no scouting until week 3, we move right into the scores from the opening opening weekend, starting with the Bills taking down the Giants 28-10. Lions beat the Super Bowl runner-up Eagles 31-24, while the Jaguars beat the defending Super Bowl champion Patriots 28-10 in New England. Broncos go to Tennessee and pick up a 17-10 win. Steelers hammer the Bengals 35-10, while the Ravens beat the newer version of themselves 17-10. Dolphins also get a division win in the opener, beating the Jets 24-20. Cowboys do the same, taking down Washington 31-20. Packers beat the Raiders in Oakland by 4. Chargers go to Chicago and get stifled, scoring only 6 points in the 14-point loss. Cardinals get a big win, taking down the Saints at home 31-21. Meanwhile, their division rival gets pounded at home by the Panthers to the tune of 28-6. Texans go into Indianapolis and get a 38-24 win over the Colts. Falcons get a division road win as they beat the Bucks 24-21. And then capping off week 1 was the Rams beating the 49ers 27-17 in Santa Clara. So taking a quick look at the AFC standings after one game, each division featured a pair of teams winning and a pair of teams losing. In the East, the Dolphins and Bills start the year 1-0, while in the North it was the Steelers and Ravens. Then in the South, the Texans and Jaguars start the year off on the right note, and in the West, we sit tied at the top with the Broncos, both with the early 1-0 record. Moving to the NFC, the Cowboys were the only team to win in the East, so they hold an early game advantage over everyone else. Meanwhile, in the North, the Vikings were the only team to lose as the Lions, Bears, and Packers all start the year 1-0. Both the South and the West featured a pair of teams that won and a pair of teams that lost, with the Falcons and Panthers sitting at the top in the South and the Rams and Cardinals coming away victorious in the West. Deshaun Watson takes home his first Offensive Player of the Week award since week 4 of the 2017 season as he wins it for the AFC in week 1. Watson started his season on a great note, completing 65% of his 40 attempts for 369 yards and 2 touchdowns. Watson also added a score on the ground, giving him 3 total to help his Texan squad pick up a week 1 road victory over a division rival as Houston beat Indianapolis 38-24. We may have moved away from Kansas City, but the tradition of having opponents win Player of the Week awards continues as Dalvin Cook takes home his first Player of the Week award for the NFC. As you saw earlier, Cook went off against us for 200 yards on the ground and nearly 9 yards per carry, including a 96-yard touchdown for one of his 3 scores on the ground. Cook also threw in 4 catches for 34 yards, but his performance was not enough to help the Vikings rally from a 24-6 halftime deficit, and they fell to Portland 31-29. On the defensive side of the ball, the AFC Player of the Week also came from the Houston Texans and his former number 1 overall pick, Jadeveon Clowney. The 6th-year pro out of South Carolina takes home his first career Player of the Week award as he notched 8 tackles all solo and was able to get to Colts quarterback Andrew Luck twice for sacks as he helped the Texans win 38-24 in Indianapolis. The Bears defense mauled the Los Angeles Chargers in week 1, and a huge factor in doing so was middle linebacker Danny Trevathan, who takes home the NFC Defensive Player of the Week. Trevathan accounted for 12 tackles, 10 of which were solo, and also had 3 of the Bears' 7 sacks as they held Phillip Rivers and the Charger offense to just 236 total yards as Chicago easily dispatched the Chargers, winning 20-6. Moving to the leaders from around the league, starting with the passing leaders, where Carson Wentz leads the way with his 144.1 passer rating. Wentz was 13-19 for 228 yards and 2 touchdowns in the Eagles' 31-24 loss in Detroit, where on the other side, Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford threw for a league-best 371 yards, and then Ben Roethlisberger torched the Bengals defense, throwing for 226 yards and 4 touchdowns, putting him atop the league in that category. On to the rushing leaders, where a familiar face pops up as Dalvin Cook leads the way in both rushing yards with 200 and rushing touchdowns with 3. His 8.7 yard per carry average put him in the running for the week 1 Triple Crown, but it was Ezekiel Elliott's 10 carry, 105 yard performance that would spoil that and put last year's leading rusher at the top of that category. Packers rookie Marquez Valdez-Scantling led the league in receptions last season, and after 1 week, his teammate Devontae Adams leads the way with 12. Despite the Colts' loss to the Texans, T.Y. Hilton put up a league best 141 yards receiving. And then lastly, Cowboys second round pick Derwin Olsen burst onto the scene as he caught 3 touchdown passes in his first career game, putting him at the top of the list heading into week 2. Then shifting to the defense, nobody was in on more tackles in week 1 than Buccaneers linebacker Levante David, who made 11 solo and assisted on 4 others. Danny Trevathan had 3 sacks and won NFC Defensive Player of the Week, but it's fellow NFC North linebacker Clay Matthews who gets gets the shine on the leaderboards, as he also dropped the quarterback 3 times in the Packers win in Oakland. And then lastly, for interceptions, Patrick Peterson was the recipient on 2 of Drew Brees' 3 interceptions in the Cardinals' 31-21 win over the Saints, and was the only player in the league to have multiple picks in the opening week. Looking forward to week 2, we have our first Thursday night game of the year as the Patriots head to New York to play the Jets. The Chargers and Bengals face off as a pair of 0-1 teams that lost badly in the opening week, while the Broncos and Steelers both look to move to 2-0 in another AFC West, AFC North battle. Same scenario for the next 2 games, where the Bills head to Dallas looking to move to 2-0, and the Texans head to rival Jacksonville aiming to do the same. Philadelphia heads down to Miami looking to get back to 1-1, while the Dolphins look to go 2-0. Bucks and Saints play in New Orleans as both look to bounce back from opening day losses. Detroit at Washington, Arizona at Carolina, and then in our first official game in Portland, Oakland comes to the H2O Hog House. Falcons head to LA to take on the Rams, Titans at Colts in AFC South action, Ravens head to Seattle to take on the 0-1 Seahawks, Browns at 49ers, and then on Sunday night, the 0-1 Vikings head to Green Bay looking to get in the win column against the 1-0 Packers. Then capping off week 2, the Giants head to Chicago to take on the Bears on Monday night. Alright guys, that's going to do it here though. Held on for a big opening day win against the Vikings to start 1-0. Next video will be our first home game in Portland, and I can't think of a more perfect opponent than the Raiders to come into the bacon bubble. But I hope you guys enjoyed the highlights and some of the changes I've made from last season with the new transitions, as well as the condensed leaders to try and move the second half of videos along a bit smoother. But like I said, that's going to do it here. Week 1 is in the books, week 2 is on the way, and until next time, thanks for watching.